saying goodnight, I would like Dick and Joan and Jim to take 1.5 minute to sum up what it is that you want to sum up to say goodnight to the people.
You go first. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, just that I feel this was a very important night, that the Garrison film that John worked on has finally been shown to actually a worldwide audience on the web. And it's vitally important for the future of our kids and grandkids in the country, because they're up against so much in terms of civil liberties and climate change and just unbelievable obstacles they're going to face that we pass on to them. There's not too many young people here tonight. That it's vitally important to understand what happened 50 years ago and through the other assassinations in the 60s in order to be...
on anything. It's game over.
In order to be...
Game over.
Why is that person saying that?
He's a nun.
Maybe he's...
At any rate,
Go ahead, Dick.
that's really all I've got to say, is that I still feel it's vitally important to get to the truth, if we can, about what happened, and so that the country can move on from a place it really never has.
I think we got
60s.
to the truth. We didn't get to the justice. Joan?
Well, I would like to underline what Dick said, and that is that what we're looking at here is Garrison suggesting to us that something has changed about our country. CIA has taken a role in power that it was not meant to have. And if I could take 1 second, if somebody wants to study the story of the history of CIA, I call your attention to an article in the Virginia Historical Review of 1946 by Ambassador David K.E. Bruce, warning against the creation of CIA and saying that be careful, because this could well become an American Gestapo. And David Bruce then, under President Eisenhower, wrote, talked about this before, the Bruce Lovett Report, in which he describes the murders and mayhem created by the clandestine services. Allen Dulles was the creator of CIA behind the scenes, and somebody like Bruce, who was a great American patriot, and by the way, John also has reintroduced us to the idea of a liberal. Who's a liberal? Jim Garrison was truly a classical liberal. He's not a Marxist. He's not a... Allen Dulles is as we look at his history, an anti-Semite and a person who collaborated with the Galen organization. Some people have asked that question on the emails, and asked the Galens to take over the United States intelligence efforts in the Soviet Union after the war. And he relied on all the Nazi SS and Galen organization, which was the Nazi intelligence, to do that. There's so many subjects. We're not done. We're done tonight, maybe, but we're not done. Jim.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I want to give you some ammunition to take away with you tonight. So when it comes up about the assassination, here's the basics. If you have unlimited faith and confidence in the federal government of the United States, then you believe the evidence that they present to you in this case. And I will be the first to admit that taken at that level, it's pretty incriminating against Lee Harvey Oswald. But if you have the slightest suspicions and the slightest doubt about the faith and veracity of the federal government, and let's see now, light at the end of the tunnel in Vietnam, I am not a crook, read my lips, no new taxes, weapons of mass destruction.
I didn't have sex with that woman.
I didn't have sex with that woman.
You can keep your doctor.
And if you like your health care plan, you can keep your health care plan. All right, will they lie to us? Only continuously. So then, once you begin to think for yourself and quit listening to the CIA-backed corporate mass media, then you'll start figuring out and you'll know the truth about the Kennedy assassination. Maybe not every detail.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fact that I could do this live webcast, even though I had to pay for it, proves that we still live in the most interesting country in the world. And perhaps it would be a much more interesting country and a much more humane society if we cared as much about who killed our president as who's going to get killed Sunday in the Super Bowl. But when it comes to the Super Bowls of assassinations, The first one being November 22nd, 1963. The score was the government won, the truth nothing. But we all know the truth won because the officials were corrupt. The truth will never get its trophy or its true justice until those officials who still hold high office and their clones who still hold high office are removed from that high office. But because when it comes to political assassinations, which are still continuing, they're still calling the shots. As Edward R. Murrow used to say, America's very favorite and best journalist before he was taken off of television for telling the truth. Good night and good luck. Thank you.